woman on her first Carnival cruise gets seriously injured. A woman that is from Louisiana, she went on her first cruise, not just first Carnival cruise, her first cruise. And obviously, it was a Carnival cruise, right? So she did what most people would do. They're gonna what? Book an excursion, enjoy that time, maybe they get off, go to the pool, whatever they want to do, right? But she's a little bit more, let's just say, adventurous, right? She's gonna do stuff that I normally would not do, right? It's a little bit more adventurous, okay? So what happened was the excursion that she booked for her, I think her husband or boyfriend, right? I'm not sure if they're married, or I think it's her husband, right? So the excursion that they booked was what? The rope swing. So basically the rope swing is you grab the rope, there's supposed to be a tagline up there, right? There's a tagline, take the rope, you swing the course, you drop yourself in, and you go into the water, right? The water is probably, you gotta be able to swim in the water in order to do it. You gotta be able to tread. I can't tread, but I can float. So I don't know. Can I not go on it? But who knows? Let's get on to the story. So what happened next is the tagline was improperly installed, right? Was not connected, was not put together right? As she swung, she was holding the knot area, which is actually holds you up. As she's swinging across, the tagline wraps her leg, gets caught, and it literally says, I think they said it got caught like close to her private, somewhere down in her waist area, right? Below her waist. It got caught down there to a point where she had to let go of the rope early, where she got all the way down to the water, where at that point she thought it was just a scratch, nothing major. A couple hours go by, she's on a ship, and at that point, she gets to a point where she can't even walk. She needs a wheelchair to walk around. So what happens next is her husband calls 911. The medical team comes to get her. They bring her down to the medical. She's there for 26 hours. Gets to a point where they tell her she needs to be medically evacuated off of this cruise ship, that he has only a couple hours in order to get off. They give him a couple of options. Just going to say what the one option is for her to get medically evacuated off the ship. They give you an option where you could go off the ship and you're on your own, right? That's another option. But, okay, that's the option, right? He takes it. It's not cheap, right? They already spent $3,500 in the medical. Now, he's going to have to spend $50,000 to get her medically evacuated. So the ambulance comes, takes her to a private airport. They get on a private jet. It's going to go to Fort Lauderdale, right? So that is what has happened at this moment right now. But now there's $50,000. At that point here, he's got a couple hours to pay $20,000 right away. And then by the time they get to Fort Lauderdale at the airport, he's got to pay another $30,000. To me, I'm thinking in my head, okay, you pay the 20, you get there. Are they going to like send her back if you don't give the $30,000? I mean, what's going on with that at that point? And once you land, I mean, you can be like, well, you know what? You're going to take it. What? They're going to refuse a person that is seriously ill for $30,000 in the United States? Don't see that happen, right? Now, at this point, you're all thinking, you're watching, you're like, well, get the cruise insurance. Well, obviously, this one's a first-time cruiser. Don't know about him. So they probably don't know about the cruise insurance. But again, where did this happen? This happened at Isla Tropica, formerly known as Roatan. This is Carnival Cruise Line's private destination. So in the end, something happens to you at a cruise line's private island. The cruise line should be liable for it, especially the fact that the tagline was improperly installed, right? Was not correctly installed, resulted in her to get stuck and seriously injured, right? Because this is at their private island, their private destination, they should be held liable for these expenses. These people should not have had to pay one penny because of this, right? And on top of it, now they're paying this, so you know what's going to happen next. They're going to get a lawyer. They haven't said, but time to get the lawyer. They made a GoFundMe page trying to get like $15,000 for some. He put down medical expenses. I'm assuming it's medical expenses that they have to pay in the United States right now, right? So they have a GoFundMe page, but you know they're gonna try to sue Carnival. More than likely, Carnival's gonna have to pay millions, because if Carnival would have just paid these medical expenses, they would have saved themselves a lot of money, a lot of headaches. But unfortunately, they're going to be going to court over this probably within the next year. So everybody out there, please in the comments, tell me, do you think Carnival Cruise Lines should be held liable, or just any cruise line should be held liable for an incident that happens at their private island, at their private destination, and all that? Should the cruise line be held liable for an incident that happens there?